Submit your photos for review on one of my review shows. How you do it is, number one, you become a member here on my YouTube. Super easy. It's in the show notes. Or you hit the join button, which is what the join button is for. Become a member here on YouTube. Next, join my Discord, which is in the show notes. Find the link for my Discord. After that, you connect your YouTube and your Discord through your Discord settings. And then you'll see all my magic submission folders where you could submit photos for review like you're about to see right now. Welcome everybody who's watching live. I appreciate you. I love you guys hanging out with me so early. Appreciate you, appreciate you, appreciate you. Let's get back into some of the photo reviews that I might have missed. All right, let's get into some photographs from Mr. Scott Granger. Scott says Seal Beach Pier 6D, edited with a sketch effect, tower shot with the 80D years ago, edited in Photoshop, Silver Effects Pro, vintage cameras with an EOS R on a table with strobe, edited in ACR, Photoshop, and textured layers. All right, so we're looking at some pictures from Scott Granger. Let's look at Scott's first photo. Scott, this one's a little small, by the way. One of the requisites to submitting photos is making your photos 4,000 pixels wide, so we can actually look and see the texture and see the vibe in the photo. You can see when I'm enlarging here, I'm just kind of getting like a little bit of a digital mess. And I see that compositionally this photograph is strong, but I can't see the file. I can't see if you shot raw. I can't see the actual quality of the image because the picture is so small and you have this textured effect over top of it. I don't think that you need effects over top of photographs. I like to see what the actual photograph looks like without the bells and whistles. It's a quick way for us to actually get a real sense of the photography. My suggestion, resubmitting, making sure that this photograph on the long side is 4,000 pixels, and then by whatever it ends up, I mean on the wide side 4,000 pixels, that's my mistake, I said on the long side, but on the wide side 4,000 pixels this way, and then by whatever, and then make it 100 DPI, and then I'll be able to see them really, really large. It's hard for me to see the big details in this photo, like your focus here and what's happening back there. So I hope that helps. Again, compositionally, it's a strong picture. It's got great leading line, but where I'm getting lost is in the technical side of it and the size of the photo. Let's look at another one from my guy, Scott Granger. This picture is also quite small, Scott. This is smaller than the first one. Again, I'm not really able to see your focus. I know that you did this a while ago. I feel like I know this building if you're in Toronto. I think you went a little bit too far with the burning and dodging. Like, I think that I talked a little bit about it last episode. You really have to look at trends in retouching and trends in what's happening in post-production right now. I think this overburning that's happening right now, I do appreciate the moody effect, but I just think that it's a little bit too much. I do appreciate the composition of the shot and again, the leading line, but you also mentioned that you shot this photograph a long time ago. I do want to see what your newer work looks like so I can get a bit more of a sense as to what you're shooting now and what your work looks like now. All right, let's get another shot here from our guy, Scott Granger. This is a great triptych. I'm not sure if this is photographs of prints. I see that you're putting them together in 3. What I would love is to see this picture as a solo, this picture as a solo, and this picture as a solo. This is very technically well done. I'm trying to learn a little bit more about what your niche is, what the photography is that you like to do. Are you shooting with these vintage cameras? Are you shooting digital? Are you shooting landscape style photos? Are you shooting still life style photos? just trying to get an understanding as to the kind of photography that you're really trying to do so I can help you get better at it. Thank you for submitting. New to the crew and first time submission, says Scott, your work is great. You have to help me with making your shots a little larger, 4,000 pixels wide, as mentioned, and perhaps reprocessing some of those two photos, 2 out of the 3, so I really get a sense as to like what your work looks like raw and unfiltered. Welcome Dorch, welcome Robin, welcome Matthew, welcome Romeo, welcome Nick, and Sebastian, of course, was first in. Welcome, welcome. Glad you guys are here. All right, let's look at another photo. Speddy. Speddy is a photographer. I mentioned him last episode, I do believe. Speddy shoots incredible, I guess I would call it macabre photography. He shoots within a genre that's him. And he has this mystery, the way that he shoots. I've also asked him to put a spoiler over top of his photographs because some of his photographs might be shocking to some. So if you're squeamish, if you have a weak stomach, if scary images offend you, perhaps look like this first to see if this is something that you want to look at fully. This is photography, and again, keep in mind, this is just makeup and hair. This is photography from Speddy Sanchez. Speddy, this is great. And I mean, for me, it's what I expect from you during this time of the year. This is a great shot. Look at it as a cover. Ooh, my cover art is so small. Let's look at it as a cover. I mean, Speddy, your flicks are always on the button. They really are, and always have been really on the button. So I'm about it. I really like this. I think this is a great photograph. Really catchy, and it looks good as a cover. It's super strong. I hope you guys are feeling what I'm saying. Like, this guy shoots the macabre. If you want a detail of this photograph, this is why we go 4,000 pixels, so I can zoom in. And you can actually see that it is makeup. It's airbrush, it's makeup, but it's so excellently done. It's so well done. Speddy's team is so amazing, and you can tell clearly that he's been doing this work for years just based on the high quality look and feel of his photography. So yeah, Speddy's his pictures are scary. That's Speddy's first photo. Again, not that scary because, again, just remember, it's just makeup. But his ideas are really strong. He's so idea driven. Speddy, I love this photo. I would have liked to have seen it offset. It's very literal with the composition. It's super strong and the lighting is amazing. And I know, I 100% agree, Matthew. I know that this is a huge aspect of this photograph, but your subject here, I would have dropped your subject like in here and somehow played a little bit with this curtain, and that would have offset them a little bit and then made it so you're avoiding dropping anything really important on your gutter. We all have situations where we have to drop stuff in the center of our photo. I just feel like compositionally here, you could have bumped up just a touch, got just a little bit closer, and offset your subject. So like the legs ended like right here and still gave the kind of space that you have happening over here. Again, it's just the thought. I want you to be thinking about your stuff in a coffee table book. I want you to be thinking about your stuff 2 pages in a magazine. So yeah, I hope that helps. I think that, again, I know that your photography is super strong. You have a definitive vision when it comes to the reason that you shoot these photos, and it's October, which is your favorite time of the year. By the way, if you want to see a close-up of this photo, this gives you a close-up. Look at the plastic eyes. Like, it's insane. Everything from treatment to makeup, styling, the room, everything is on the button. Super great, Spetty. Let's look at another one from him. Spetty's got one more. Woo! This one isn't a joke. Okay, it is Scaretober, so here you go. Spetty Sanchez. How absolutely insane is this? This is crazy. I mean, I would love to see a vertical version. It is really tricky with the hands. Yes, it is dead center, but like, holy shit, Spetty. This is absolutely nuts. Like, just crazy. Like, 3 super strong photos, Spetty. 3 super strong photos. If I had to mark a favorite, I'd call this one your best photo. This is absolutely insane. Like, really on the button. Holy moly. Yes or yes, right? Crazy. Spetty is he's a strong photographer. I'm trying to help him develop his non-macabre work, but at this time of the year, this is the time of the year where Spetty's all in on shooting the macabre. Good stuff. You're getting lots of great comments here in chat. So, Andrew says, just a random leaf and a random puddle. He said the focus is off a tiny bit. This is from Andrew, all the way from South Africa. Andrew, this is great. It's compositionally sound. I love the color. I love the bubbles. And the fact that you actually see that it's under the water. Like, the details on this shot are really quite spectacular. And the focus miss that you're talking about, I don't really see it. It looks pretty much to me like you kind of nailed this focus. My only concern exists... Oops, where did my photo go? My only concern exists here on the edge of the photo, meaning how close you are to camera left. I would love a little bit more space. I need you to get that border around there, because when magazines print, when you go to print, you lose like 1/4 of an inch on either side. So 1/4 of an inch you'll lose here. So it'll either be an 1/8 and an 1/8, or it's 1/4 on one side and you lose them on the top and you lose them on the bottom. So you end up, once you go to print, it ends up going to here. And even if it's not being printed in a magazine, when you make a print of this, in order to do a full bleed, they have to overprint it. So that also creates it being a little bit close. So I like it. I think it's a super engaging photo. Let's look at it as a cover. You see, it's a tight photo. Like, I like it. I don't see the issues that you're speaking about with focus, but I do feel it's a little bit offset to the left. I think it's an 11 out of 10 though. I'm rating it. I'm sure you have some more submissions this week, so I'm going to see what else is in the folder, but you should be really happy with that body of work. All right, Sebastian, first in chat, says, Carty, this is my submission for the next review. Pictures were taken with my Sony A7 IV and my Sony Grandmaster G Master 85. In the beginning, I was planning to submit one picture with my 35mm. Still, I feel like I need to train a little bit more with it. Approaching my subjects closer is still difficult. Small background about my photos, which he shot on Sunday. He went for a small trip to England in Winchester. He loves the city. It's got a great vibe. It's elegant and classy. Street photography is his thing. Hunting for these candid moments. Frames that only exist for a few seconds and will not be able to repeat. He loves it. Hopefully next time he'll be able to submit pictures that are less random and more planned with a model and some light. And he's also wishing everybody a great night and evening. All right, let's look at this first photograph here from Sebastian. Sebastian's in chat. You guys can say hi to Sebastian. Sebastian, this is a great frame. I like this photo. I like the fact that this man is making frames. I like the fact that he's got like a craftsman's kind of a vibe to it. I feel like you could have punched in just a touch, possibly just a touch, in order to get rid of, I would call it, this little umbrella. Like punch in here and then punch in here. And I don't feel, oops, I don't even think that we need to go back that far. Call it punch in here. Like, I feel like that frame now is closer. And I mean, you would punch in a little bit here in order to hold the proportions. But you're not losing anything in what's happening here. But you definitely get the same image without the distractions. You know what I mean? So again, it's something to think about. Looking at focus, there's a little bit of motion blur, which I think comes from a slower shutter speed. I want you to make sure that your shutter speed is on, and also he's moving. So you have to be a little bit wary if you're shooting with an 85. You actually have to shoot at 1/85th of a second, because it's 1 over the focal length of the lens. So if you're shooting with a 100, you need to shoot at 100th of a second. If you're shooting with an 85, you need to shoot at an 85th of a second to make sure that you're not getting any camera blur. It's very minor, but there is a little bit of camera shake, which I will show you again here. It's very slight, but you see there's movement in here in his ear, and there's a little bit of movement in his chain. So small things, but still, I think a great job. A great job. First shot from Sebastian. Let's go anti-clockwise. This is nice. This is a great shot of this dog. I think that what I want you to notice is a couple of things. Number one is this road that's going right through the dog's head and then right through her head. Because it's lighter, our eyes naturally go to that. The next thing is this piece of light up here, whatever that is, something that's reflecting. This piece of light here distracts the eye from the photo, which is this dog. This dog is super buff. It's got all these muscles. It's super focused on something. How you handle this photo is you rotate this way and see if you can isolate the dog and now cut out this person back here. Because you're rotating this way and now shooting the dog like that, you now have distance between this girl and this dog, and you get the dog in a profile position. I'm not sure what's over here in the picture that would take away from your eye once you rotate that way. My hope is that it's more green, non-distracting stuff like this, but my first inclination is to rotate you around this way and hit the dog that way, cut this person out, because you understand this subject here is so much a distraction from this dog. Like it's now your eye fights between your dog here and this person's head here and all the other distracting things in the photo. So make sure you scan your frames and remove distractions. I think that pose on the dog would have been great if you just like wrapped around just a little bit. Do let me know if you guys are enjoying my soundtrack that I'm playing today. I decided to put, and by the way, I always have music on my streams during my podcast, but it's always been at just a lower level, a little bit of a lower volume. Decided to put it up a little louder because I got some positive comments from having music in the background. You can't hear it today, Robin? You got to put headphones on. You have to put headphones on, for sure. You definitely have to put headphones on, because I promise you, it is on. Yeah, thank you. Okay, this photo is something. I am really feeling this now, Sebastian. This is a great depth of field shot. Look how focused this girl is. To me, this is another one where you need to punch in just a little bit. I know you're nervous because you're shooting strangers, but I feel like this photograph exists like here, relatively top heavy. Give a little bit of bottom. I mean, she's almost too centered. Like, I feel like the photo exists like right in there. Now, my main concern is losing these people in the background. I find them a little bit distracting. This situation, you just take a step that way, hit her from that angle, and then you're able to cut them out completely. You'll see a little bit more tree because that's going to bring the tree into your shot a little bit more. But as long as you don't have that tree coming right over top of her or growing out of her, I think that you actually got something there. This is something. This is a great picture. A great picture. But again, you could punch in on this girl so much more. Picture number 2 from the one they call Sebastian. 3. Photo 3 is a great grab shot, and you got a great moment here. This is good. I like this a lot, Sebastian. I like the fact that this woman is leading him, so you see the hand and you see the connection. You've managed to remove pretty much all the distractions except for this purse here, which is almost uncontrollable. You have a good distance here versus the distance here. Yes, there's a little bit of a gray thing growing out of her head there, but that's kind of acceptable. You've done great headspace because you've kept his head in and still given a good headspace here. My only issue is because this is 8 inches across this way and is 12 inches down, when it becomes an 8x10, our problem is when it goes to an 8x10, you're going to lose an inch on the top of the frame and an inch on the bottom of the frame, which means you're going to lose the hand and you're going to clip the top of the head. So you'll see when you go to Instagram, Instagram's going to give you this proportion right here, which is like 4x5. So when you're shooting these photos, it has to be a little looser. So when you crop down to your Instagram proportions, which, by the way, in case you guys forget, is 4x5. So 4x5 equals an 8x10. And our cameras shoot 4x6, which is 3x2 or 2x3 proportion. So because the proportions are different, you're going to lose a lot in cropping. Have to kind of get used to that when you're shooting, is to just basically give your images a little bit more space. Yeah. All right.
Yes.
By the way, if you're watching this after the fact, my live chat is controlling my stream. My live chat has the ability to control my stream, which is kind of crazy. I don't think you'll find that anywhere else on YouTube. This is an insane face. These people behind him makes it a little distracting. Thank God they're out of focus, these two behind him, but this face, these like varicose vein lines in his face, the hearing aid, are all like very, very interesting and grabby. Like, look at a close-up of this man's face. Like, how insane is that? And I know you're nervous about getting super close. Welcome, Julie. Glad you're here. I know you're nervous about getting close, but holy shit. There's a photo here. There's a photo here. I just want you to look at, once I zoom in just a little bit and isolate him just a little bit, look at the photograph that is here. you know, when the people in the background are a little bit less predominant. I think this is really special, Sebastian. I think this is really, really special. I do like to judge best photo from the submissions. So, based on what you're giving me here, I am going to take away. I don't want you guys to see what I'm doing. I'm going to take away that one. I'm going to keep that one. I'm going to take away that one. I'm going to take away that one. And I'm going to call your best photo, number one, this. Your best photo. And this right here, your best photo. Well done. Thank you so much for submitting. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. All right, let's get into the next one. The next one is Ram Ted. So Ram says, Ram used to submit every week, and Ram is an incredible macro photographer. Like, I mean, incredible. Ram has been watching me for over 2 years. He followed me from Twitch over to YouTube, and he recently signed up for a YouTube membership here, which makes me happy. Ram says this: haven't been able to make many photos lately because between work and internship and working on my master's degree. I entered to the 2023 International Photography Awards and was a finalist, getting honorable mention for a series of photos I entered. It gave me the motivation to get out and shoot, taking over 3,500 photos in 3 days. Here are a few of the photos. Although these are probably the least exciting ones I managed to capture, I haven't been able to get them all into editing yet. The first one is simple and some small flowers. Second one is actually a photo I've been trying to get for a few years, with the third photo being a step up in quality, although with not much of a horror vibe. So this is Ram Ted's first photograph. And again, he is an incredible still life and macro photographer. This is really beautiful. I really love the tones. It gives like such a lovely mood. I like the leading line. I really do like how your eye is pulled from this, which is your main flower. And it's just everything kind of leads you back to this, which looks almost like it's illuminated. I love this not quite open flower and this flower hidden in the background. This is really strong, Ram. And also the deep tone, like the darkness that you have in the background, really just adds to this and makes all of these color points pop. So I really appreciate what you did here. This is an 11. Absolutely great. It's the first photograph from Ramted. Great job. Great job. Great job. Great job. All right, let's look at another shot from Ram. Wow, I see what you're trying to do here. Ram said he's been trying to get this photograph for years. This is a spider in a hole. Look at this. It's a little dark in there. Exposure-wise, I'm sure is difficult to really nail this exposure, but Ram said that he has a different version. So let's see if we can see the second version, which seems like this spider is coming out even more. This is way closer to the winning picture, I think. Ramted also said that he's been trying to get this photo for 2 years. Such a great capture. Like, look at this. I'm going to hide my mug so you can see, like, look how difficult that is to just get that perfect moment. Like, insane. Ram, thanks for being here, by the way, live. I know you're in chat. I appreciate you. You're getting lots of compliments. You're getting lots of wows. Lots of wows. So, yeah, amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing. That is 3 photographs from Ramted. And by the way, if you'd like to see the previous photo again, you can see here that spider just hasn't quite come out yet. You see here the spider is out and he has just a little bit more exposure. So really great job. Really great job. Strong, strong, strong photography. Should be proud of this work. By the way, Ram, if I had to pick just one, It's got to be the flower for me. It's got to be the flower. Like this is so dirty. Like so good. If I had to pick one from the 3 that you submitted, this is absolutely smoke. Absolutely. You should be very proud. And welcome back to watching the show and welcome back to photography. I know you got a lot of things on the go. All right. So, my man Matthew Sargent, who's also in chat, you guys can say hi to him. Matthew says, I shared lots of portraits, mostly of my kids. Something I feel really passionate about is taking life slowly, noticing the fine details in everything, and simply pausing to appreciate it. Here are some images I've created in the last couple of months. So, this is really great. Really great. Wow, Matthew, great detail. Great detail. Really great detail. I like this shot a lot. It really captures emotion. I really love how he's like holding her, how she's holding his finger, how it really showcases the ring, how the ring isn't like exactly perfect, the scar on his hand. There's a little bit of hot exposure up here in the arm, which I feel like you could take out just with a little bit of highlight reduction in your slider. The shadow detail's good. I like the fact that it goes dark in the background. I really like this guy's ring. And again, the treatment is good. It doesn't look like you've gone too far with post-production. It really feels like something. I think this is a winner. I think this is a winner. Again, it's quite center focused. You could also have pushed this hand that way and perhaps shown a little bit more arm, or possibly switched the hand position and pushed them this way and showed a little bit more her. Either way, it's a successful photo. I'm just always trying to help you guys get out of the like horizontal picture center focused mindset. All right, that's another photo from, oh, that's the first photo from Matthew. We're going anti-clockwise, Matthew. Matthew managed to get a BMW X5 into his windowsill. This is a great capture. It's a great idea for a capture too. I mean, obviously this is a toy car photographed in the windowsill. When you're doing these exercises, it is definitely fun, but unfortunately the car that you get, if you're gonna try to make it look even a little bit like a real car, the dirty windshields on this thing and also the dirty window here makes those two elements the things that we see first. Also, because the car is tilted because of this angled windowsill, I would have liked to see the car placed here, and I would have liked you like giving me a couple of different angles on this car. When you're shooting die casts, it's really tricky because, I mean, there's replicas that are like the windshields, like the tolerances, the grill, it's so well done. This is closer to like a Hot Wheels car. So, but if it's like a lens test, man, like I definitely get it. Have a look at this as a lens test for sure. Like the sharpness, you said this was your first shots with the 28 to 75 shot at 2.8. Yeah, I definitely appreciate that. And also you're seeing that once you're closer to the 75 range, how shallow the depth of field is. It seems like your focus point is kind of in here and it gets out of focus as it goes that way and that way. So if this is, as you're mentioning, like a test that you did just to test this new lens that you got, yeah, I definitely understand. I definitely understand the purpose more so than showing your die cast skills. This is really great. This is really great. For this photo, Matthew says, pulling over on my drive one day, awestruck by the colors and beauty of foggy mountainside that I've looked at my entire life. Today, he saw them with new eyes. This is a absolutely spectacular photograph. This is amazing, Matthew. You know what's so funny is like the fact that you shot this with that inspiration that you just spoke of, as if you were looking at the world for the first time with these eyes. Like the sweeping grass, man, the way that the grass waves up here, this over, like everything is, there's a C for Carty on top of the mountain there. I'm sure that they have that there just so everyone knows that Carty's the greatest photography teacher on earth. Like I think that that's kind of cool. This is a winner. This is a winner chicken dinner. Like no one denying. This is bloody amazing. Bloody amazing, Matthew. You should be thrilled. Like banger, my guy. This is an interesting capture. I really like this shallow depth of field. It's a cool spotting everyday things kind of a thing. I think this guy could get nudged over a little bit because this is our main subject. Sitting here on the edge of this what's this called? Of pot. A clay pot. Because this guy is like so centered, if you look at where the gutter goes, you see the gutter is here. That's actually even a little bit offset. The gutter is actually here. So because the gutter's there, it's just going through your cute guy. So my suggestion, again, just rotate yourself a little bit that way. Eliminate this negative space here because it's not needed. This over here out of focus is way more interesting. So you can rotate yourself over that way or just slide the camera that way so this cuts maybe closer to the stem. My 2 cents in a bag of chips. It's a very interesting thing. I like the depth of field with this light. I appreciate that, Matthew. Matthew says, I should only post new images since the learning that you've got here. You've corrected a lot of these mistakes already, I'm sure. Yeah, this is a better stance for this car. Way better stance. I swear I had this Monte Carlo when I was a kid. So great. This is great. Great. And great for like showing you the quality of this lens again. Again, that 2.8 f, it's really, your focus is just like in here, right? And as it starts to get this way, it starts to get out of focus right quick. You know? Like you seem to have a bit of a window that's like this. You can see it's out of focus that way and out of focus on the car as we get into the front. Still amazing. I noticed your details like putting this thing under the tire so the car doesn't roll. Dope. And again, the color composition with this car on the outside is really kind of dope. So this is a good one. All right. Very. All right. I'm going to give you my opinion on your best photo. I don't know if you guys know what it is. Do you guys have a clue as to what I might think his best photo is? Let's have a look at Matthew's best photo. Yes or yes? Matthew, this is your best photo, my guy. Absolute banger. Like, unequivocally, right? Like, obviously, best photo. Well done, Matthew. This is really, really strong. You should be thrilled. Thrilled. All right. Romeo says, Romeo did some of my assignments, which is great. Romeo says, it is a self-portrait taken of me, body parts, and a mysterious photo taken with the Fuji X-T3, 18-55, ISO 32-30 seconds, and, 30-second shutter speed? No, 30th of a second, and f3.2. 3200 might be a bit high, with your ISO. We're going to give you a little inspection on here, Romeo. 3200 ISO is kind of holding up well, but I want you to remember, I don't think that you need to go that high with your ISO. What ends up happening is this, which you're seeing right here, which is digital noise. Like these dots that you're seeing is coming from an ISO that's higher than that's actually necessary. That's noise. You can see it in your hair if you're looking at this on a high quality screen more so than your phone. Compositionally, this is very strong. It's very much a cover, although I like your body position that you're leaning in, but the couch, although the couch is complementary to your skin tone, the couch is like going right through your neck. I would prefer maybe you stand and do this photo, or you sit on a stool so you don't have this couch behind you. I mean, yes, you could do a knockout and take that couch away, but what's winning is the light. I like the light that's happening on one side. You got a little bit of a shadow on that side of your face. You got that smile, which is great. You're very present, and like you did everything that I'm asking for, that I asked for. So this is amazing, and it's compositionally sound. Like compositionally sound, you gave yourself enough headroom to make an 8x10, because by the way, if this was an 8x10, it would look exactly like this. And you can see Romeo framed this perfectly. This is a super strong image. Romeo, you should be thrilled. This is great. Romeo's self-portrait from my self-portrait assignment I gave recently. Romeo also provided a body detail shot. I'm going to show that one last, and the mystery. The mystery shot is great. I really love this vibe. I love the no smile. I love the single source of light in the sunglasses. Like, there's definitely a vibe here. For sure, you could have centered yourself a little bit more, like moved your, because you can see where your head is. You definitely could have your head here a little bit, like just pushed over. The headspace is fine because an 8x10, you're taking away that. I think this one is good. It definitely has mystery. What I want you to consider is, rather than looking at camera, turn your face sideways so it's a profile. And now we get like that nice outline of your face. Have you looking at the light source, or have the light source from back here giving you a little bit of rim light. Like if I put my camera here, I have this light over my head that way. If I look this way, you see this light gives me like a little bit of that rim. So again, something to try. Don't be afraid to aim into the light. Aiming into the light actually is kind of dope. Well done, Romeo. Let's go. Well done, Romeo. All right. Okay. All right. So, Romeo, 3 photos. Romeo, I don't think that there's a question for me what the best photo is of you, my guy. This is your winner chicken dinner, my guy. Let's go. Romeo, thank you for participating, and thank you for actually like putting yourself out there like that, putting yourself on camera, shooting such strong self-portraits, and like having the confidence to do it. It takes a lot, and trust me, the more self-portraits that you shoot, the better that you get. But it's important to actually show yourself to this community. Oh, by the way, if you're in my Discord, we're gonna do mandatory profile pictures. If you don't have a profile picture in my Discord, mandatory profile pictures. until further notice. All right. So Anna says, here are my 5 images for review. I believe these photos capture the essence of the portrait photography I'm most passionate about. While I embarked on my photography journey approximately 5 years ago and have since secured some clients and projects, I recognize that there's still much to learn before I can confidently call myself a photographer. Thank you for your feedback. She shoots Nikon D70, D780, 35, 50, and 85 millimeter primes. All right, this is photography from Anna. All right, welcome, Anna. I know you're watching. This is a good start. Like, I do love the angle here. And again, it's not an angle that's a traditional angle, but you for sure nailed that cover sensibility to a photograph. Like, look at how interesting a cover is. Now, there are rules when it comes to cover photography, and usually top down on someone isn't it. So definitely watch my video on magazine rules to getting published. But as far as an interesting angle and finding a new interesting angle, as for an editorial photograph, an inside of a magazine photograph, as far as a portfolio photograph, yes, you definitely have something here. There is a little bit of exposure issues here in the chin. You can see where the highlights get a little bit hot in the neck. The shadow detail exposure is good, but you can afford the shadows to go a little bit more into the shadow. And you can also, so that means like lower your exposure, maybe call it a third of a stop, maybe a half a stop, in order to help with that highlights. But then you can also recover the highlights. You can recover the highlights just by using that highlight slider and going towards 100 in the negative direction. That'll bring some of those highlights back. The leading line, all pointing to him, his legs, his arms, the body language, everything is really, and also the head angle. Like, you really actually nailed this composition. I've kind of got just a little bit of a preview to some of your other photos because, you know, it's impossible not to look ahead. So I have seen a little bit of a review from some of your other photos. So I definitely know that you got some swagger to your pictures. This is really spectacular. This is really great. I don't use that word often, but this is strong. You definitely have a vibe here. I love the like existing light, Rembrandt light that you're pulling in on her face, which is really great. We do have to watch her head angle because her chin is up. What that's doing is it's causing her nose to put this shadow here, which is not the shadow that you're hoping for. We're trying to make it so we have this whole pocket of eye lit. But again, it's because the light is coming from this direction and it's hitting this nose, and that nose is pushing shadows upwards. Whenever we're lighting this way, we can't have light coming from the underside. The light always has to come from the top, which takes the nose shadow and drops it down here. You can see you actually have underlight. It's cross light because you can see where the shadow is going, but it's not high enough. It's not coming from an angle low enough. In fact, it looks like it's coming, light travels in straight lines. It looks like it's coming from about there. I actually looks lower because that's her nose shadow. So I'm saying it's coming from about there. So again, hit her higher with the nose shadow. I think it's going to help a lot if the light comes down that way. What's winning is the idea, this negative exposure that you have, this negative light that you have, this Rembrandt light that you have here. Good exposure here, which looks like it's coming from some sort of a reflector or a bounce in on that side, which is making the shadows less harsh. And this beautiful bokeh that's happening with your 85 is all winning. I want you to watch your composition here because you're clipping you're clipping like the edge of the frame, and also her head is also clipped because you're so conscious of her face being in the center of the frame. You're actually missing the fact that you're cutting her dress off, because the dress is something that we can sell. That's a product. You know, her hair is something that we can sell. We could also use a little bit of kick here to bring in the light on the hair detail. But other than that, Anna, a dope photo. I really like it. There's something there. But you see, like, I've been doing it for 30 years. The stuff that I see in every photo, like, you're not going to see this stuff in your own photography. This is why critiques are so valuable. It's how I became a photographer, is by going to photography school, doing the assignments that my professors gave me every week, and then putting those photographs up on the wall for everybody to see. And then the professor does what I'm doing for you right now, one at a time, for every student, and everybody hears everybody's critique. Like, this is what I'm actually doing right now, is I'm doing first year photography school for you, for the ones who choose to participate, the ones who choose to become members, and the ones who choose to submit photos. This has got some good dynamic. The color and black and white dynamic, although I definitely see the idea of it, that trend, unfortunately, is like long since past. That, like, mixing a color photo and a black and white photo and masking and blah, blah, blah. It's now tacky. You know what I mean? So keep it as a color photo or keep it as a complete black and white photo. Although I do like the dynamic and the punch of red and her body language. What I want you to be hyper aware of is what's happening in current contemporary photography. Look at Behance. Look at, like, I did an episode talking about like 10 photographers that are like mind-blowing recently. Watch those episodes, because you really see what the trends are in contemporary photography, and you'll see, like, I don't see this anywhere, but I did see it 10 years ago. It just means it's a trend from 10 years ago. So the motion on her is good. You do have to make sure, if she's moving, that you have a shutter speed that's capturing the actual motion, which is difficult to do at night with existing light. It's very tricky. So you do have like a little bit of a motion blur in her hair, which you can see because you're limited to what shutter speed that you can get because she's moving. You know what I mean? And then because of that, when I do look in at the masking, at like a close distance, I can see that your masking goes here and the dress ends here. So again, it's just one of those things. I see everything. And art directors, designers, photo editors that are in power positions enough to hire you, they also see everything. In fact, they'll see more than I do. I'm just another photographer. So these are the things that we have to watch out for. The leading line in this photo, how all these lines lead to her, the shadow is really, really great. I even like her outfit. Again, I feel like this shot would be equally as strong in black and white, using a black and white filter in Lightroom in order to turn this fabric perhaps a lighter tone to the the gray that it would render if you just made this black and white, which is going to make this blend into here. I would just use a filter to slide that filter to make that fabric darker or lighter. That would give you some sort of contrast. I hope that helps, Anna. That's a really great shot though, still. All right, so let's get into photo number 3 from Anna. This is pretty. It's a little hot in the exposure. I want you to notice how we're losing detail in all the things that are white. Like we're losing detail up in the clouds. We're losing detail on the fabric in her hair. And again, black girl, her skin tone is too dark. Although the exposure and the photograph and the focus and the vibe is there. The exposure on her skin here is too dark. I mean, too light. It's bright by like 30%, I would say. And because this is too bright, it's actually blowing out the highlights in her hair. Her hair looks gray instead of black. Her shirt looks gray instead of black. And her skin looks light instead of that like golden reflective kind of caramel skin that like non-Caucasian people have. Like, you see how my skin looks like my actual skin tone. I'm lighter than most most black people, but when you see her skin tone is actually light. It's a little bit overexposed. So again, these are the small details that you have to master as a working pro. I know you're hustling at it. I know you've been doing it for 5 years, but that's why you're here. It's to get into the next bracket of what you can charge for photographs, to get you to the next bracket of the kind of clients that you can look for. You have to be a sure thing. You have to be undeniable. You can't have, like, I have mentors that look at my work and break down my work, but they're not looking at exposure and technical things. It's more about content, like what I'm actually shooting. We have to get to that point. So, Anna, another, again, strong idea, really great, decisive moment. Where you've placed her is just a little bit too, like, it's not centered, which again is very simple with the composition, but it's not offset enough. In this context where all of this stuff is blowing towards the right, you put her here. You have her here with her arms up holding these flowers. Then all these things that she's blowing go now through the frame and keep your eye going through the photograph. The light here hitting on her face is hot in exposure, meaning again, it's the exposure here in the shade versus the exposure here in the highlight. I like the fact that you're getting shade photos, but because this is mixed light, it's not just shade. You also have a very hard highlight that's coming to the side of her face. It's also touching her nose, her neck, her arm. And what's happening is it's going white, meaning too much exposure. That's burning out. You're getting that because you were aiming for the exposure here, but at a time of day where the sun is so hot that the contrast between shade and sun is greater than 7 stops. When it's greater than 7, like you're starting to you get burnout at 2 stops. When your highlights like this are 2 stops more than your shadow, it's going to burn out on a majority of cameras. So what I want you to think about is shooting in just shade or perfect light, like perfect direct sun. I just made a video on shooting in open shade, and I talked just a little bit about mixed light and how it creates harsh shadows and contrast. In this case, you're not creating harsh shadows, you're creating harsh highlights, which is exactly the opposite. So I hope that helped. Again, your focus, the detail, the decisive moment, the idea, all the elements are there. It's just, I think I mean, you said that you were considering joining my mentorship program. If you do, that's amazing. I can help you work through some of these things. And I also will give you assignments so you specifically can solve these problems on your own when you're out there shooting photos. So that is 5 photographs from Anna. We're already at an hour. Holy shit. 5 photographs from Anna. I have to say what my favorite one is. Okay, it's unmistakable. This is the one that's the most technically perfect, Anna, and I want you to hear that. This picture is the most technically perfect, and therefore this is what I am going to call your best photo. And it is this one right here. Congratulations. This is your best photo. Your best photo. Again, please keep in mind all the hints and tips that I gave you in order to improve this photo. Please keep in mind background, what's behind the person. Please keep in mind about the dropping your subject right dead center. And also, by the way, Anna, this was a close second. I normally am not attracted to photos at random angles like this, but this really grabbed me. This really grabbed me. The photo that I gave as your best photo was the most technically perfect photo. Hope you guys are enjoying my photo reviews. I think we have one or two photographers to look at. We do. We have two photographers to look at. The first one, his name is Michael Murphy, and Michael says the first two are from last year, shot on my iPhone, but there's something interesting about them. I'm curious for my insight. All right, let's have a look, Michael. Wow, I mean, I definitely, like, you have a photographer's eye, and, like, you have a photographer's eye. I mean, this is cropped to a 4:5 proportion, but when you shoot horizontal, you have to keep in mind it's almost like you want it to be more letterbox, more landscape, more 16:9, more 2:3 proportion. So again, this is a very, very strong photo. There's a couple of things what look like either on the glass, on the sensor, I'm not sure what those are, or they're in real life. The moment is amazing. Excuse me, obviously you're not going to get the same quality that you get with a phone that you do with an SLR or mirrorless, but this is a great capture. There's for sure something there. It's very layered. I'm going to sneeze. Oh my God, I'm like on the edge of a sneeze right there. I'll try to make sure that the camera's not on my face so I don't have the like ugly face, you know? I'll try. First one from Michael. You're coming in strong. Good shit. Again, I don't know if this is an iPhone photo. This doesn't look like an iPhone photo. And again, I don't know if the first two are... Let me see. Yeah, I think these two are iPhone photos. This is Michael's second photo. You can definitely see some mist happening in the distance, but because of the way the sky is, you can't see like if it's blue sky, if it's hazy, if it's mist, like, and again, it's tricky because the sky is so bright, it's going to just render white, and likely this area based on the light was all shade. So because yeah, it looks like it's overcast, right? So it's just the difference between the light up here and up here. It's hard to get the exposure on both of them. You kind of do one or the other. Expose for the sky, and this ends up being black. Expose for this, and the sky ends up being white. So that's what we're getting here, Michael. But again, the idea, the tone is definitely great. What I would have done is cut the picture right here. Literally, and I would have just made this the interesting point. I see it's the mist that you were trying to get, and there's like an interesting vibe, but once you shoot a couple of captures and notice that you're not getting any sky detail, now just zero in on the incredible foliage that's down there. I think there's something here though. I definitely think there's something here as well, so I agree with you. And then Michael submitted this insane cat photo, which is great. It's a very cute cat, and it's composed perfectly. The fact that you took these eyeballs and offset them from being dead center in the middle of the frame makes me so happy. It makes me so happy. This is the center of the picture, so this is the gutter, and now you can see that we can use this photo between two pictures, between two pages. The eyes of this cat are nuts. These little out of focus bokeh rivets on the chair, the body language of the cat, the head angle, everything wins. This is really strong and your best photo so far. It's compositionally perfect and tonally perfect as well. And again, more of like a snapshot moment in time kind of photo. The color balance, obviously it's yellow because you're shooting this under tungsten light. I feel like this photo would have way more power and impact in black and white. For sure, it would definitely pop in black and white because our eye knows, especially after seeing this cat here, that the cat's gray. But seeing the cat here makes the cat look yellow-brown, and that's because of color balance. So reprocess this raw file and catch the color balance right here, because this is white, or catch the color balance here on this newspaper, which is also a version of white, which will give you a more accurate color balance and not that feeling of shooting daylight under tungsten or black and white. All right, we got 4 photos. I think it's pretty clear as far as what are your best photos. I'm going to give you 2 here. We're going to call it the first one. This one here with the iPhone was absolutely epic. I'm going to rank this one. Definitely going to rank it. And the second one is this picture of the kitty. This is dope. You should be thrilled with this picture. Definitely great. Let's go. All right, let's go. All right. Oh, did my laptop die? Yeah, I guess it did. I guess it did. All right. So, Michael, great shots. Thank you for submitting. Great, great, great. And our last submission of the day we have from Puppet Master. Puppet says camera ZV-E10, which is an APS-C, shot with a Sigma 54mm 1.4, which is a 75mm equivalent. And there's a wide lens shot with a 16-50, shot at 19, which is roughly a 28mm. All right, let's look at some photos from our man, the Puppet Master. All right. Good shot, Puppet. I do like the composition. I do like the poise, and I do see the intentional offset. I definitely see it. I feel like because he's so upright, I'm also watching your lines. Like the line here doesn't quite line up with the bottom, but this line definitely matches up here. So I can see that that's the angle that you're trying to get straight. Because all of our leading line of the rock that's pointing to him is kind of leaning downwards, and the bench is also leaning downwards, I would suggest rotating this picture a little bit until the bench here lines up perfectly with the horizon line. I love the color, I love the tone, and the fact that you're shooting him in open shade really has nice light coming on his face. The profile is nice, but I feel like he needs to kind of rotate his head a little bit so he's looking either out of the frame, looking towards the frame, or looking down at his guitar more. But again, without having him gab the double chin. I think this is a great shot. The fact that you offset it shows you like you're learning how to shoot editorially. Look at where the gutter of this 2-page spread would be. I would say that you handled this pretty perfectly. This is the first shot from our man, Puppet Master. Well played. Well played. Second shot from Puppet comes in even stronger. Let's go. This is the type of editorial photography that I expect. This is a photograph, Puppet. I love this. This is literally on the button. This is how I would shoot it, although the way that he's holding his guitar is a little staged. Like I would have him with the guitar holding by the neck, the guitar over the shoulder. I would have the guitar resting on his foot, and have his hand like on top of the neck. The way that he's holding it out a little bit looks stiff. The other hand on his hip is okay. I would have tried his hand in his pocket. I would have also tried him leaning over the diagonal railing, which kind of would have also created a weird body language, but also could have worked. Compositionally, this is really strong, really strong. Look at this as a cover. You can see his head is a little high up in the frame. Like, I think that you could drop him down, just like drop this head down just a touch. And again, I'm not talking a lot. I'm talking his head to be like there, the bottom of the guitar coming to like here, you know, and his foot being on this step here. I think that that would give us the enough headspace, keeping in mind still, if this was an 8x10, it would be here and here perfectly. So it crops to Instagram perfectly. It's a great cover. It's just a small thing. I wish he was pulled down like a centimeter. Great shot though. Really, really strong puppet. You should be thrilled. This is top billing for your best photo so far. All right, let's look at another. This is a fun, decisive moment. I believe I can get wet. Yeah, I mean, it's a cool, decisive moment for sure. Is it a cover? Maybe. It's definitely question? Has. Yes, who's got a question, Matthew? What's up? What's up? Don't sneeze, you'll time warp me. Hilarious. I'm gonna see. I mean, again, it all depends on how busy these. I think I'm gonna do that on Sunday, though. I think I'm gonna look at those photos on Sunday. The question was, when will I be looking at the reviews? I asked for you guys to make selfies. I'm going to look at them on Sunday. I think that's what I'm going to do. So the answer to that, Sunday, because I'm going to be able to, Sunday is a subscriber stream. Everybody can be in chat. This whole assignment, everybody can do. So what I'm going to do is look at them on Sunday. I think that makes the most sense. All right. I like this photo. It definitely has something. He's got a wet t-shirt contest going on, a hard nipple. It's definitely funny. He's got a fisherman behind him. There's definitely great composition. Like, you hit it with the cover composition. It's a great photo. It's a great moment. And also you caught him in shade, which really works. It's another winning photo. It's just a little claustrophobic puppet. Like, it's one of those things where it's so perfectly composed with the head space, with the foot space, with the edge of the guitar, with the edge of his hip. But the problem is when this photo goes to 8x10, you're losing a full that. And you're losing the foot. You cannot send this to Instagram without clipping the foot. And then you're not going to want to cut across the toes. You're going to end up wanting to take the whole 2 inches off the bottom because you can't afford the space off the top. So your photo is going to end up ending right there. And when it goes to Instagram, it's going to look, it's going to end up looking like this on Instagram, which isn't horrible, but it is something that I want you to be wary of, is those pictures that are just vertical and perfect. They're never going to print to a magazine. They're never going to go to Instagram because of the 8x12, 2x3 proportion versus the 4x5 proportion. That is Instagram. And the last photo is this black and white in a black and white person in a color scene. It's very much what I was saying to Anna, only the opposite. You made him black and white and kept the scene in color. It looks more like a design thing. It looks not like it was done from the photographer. Like, the composition, the photograph, everything is like, it's an 11 out of 10 on using scale, leading line, causing tension, and all this. Like, to be honest, this is one of my favorite photographs from the set, but making him black and white just takes away from the overall idea, because it's a Photoshop trick. And you don't need Photoshop tricks in order to sell your photography. You're already a great photographer. Just be a pure photographer. That's my 2 cents. I think I would love to see this again, but without the Photoshop trickery. That's just my 2 cents. Do let me know if you disagree. Out of these, if I had to pick a favorite, unequivocally, it's this one. This is what we will call your best photo. Absolutely your best photo. All right. Congratulations, everybody who submitted photos today. Thank you. I appreciate you. If you decided to send photographs today, thank you. That was a very good question. When will I be looking at the submissions for the selfies? And I think Sunday is the day. Sunday is the day. We'll make that just a day where I get to know you guys. And I'll also talk a little bit about some of these plans that I have for upcoming podcasts, upcoming videos, and just some upcoming like mentorship, membership, group mentorship things like only, yeah. Anyways, I got some ideas. So maybe we'll use Sunday to plan that. Guys, did you like today's episode? Yes? Yes, yes, or yes? How about before we end today? By the way, did you answer? No? Did you like today's episode? Please? Yes? Thumbs up? Thank you. Make sure you hit the thumbs up, by the way, like these two old people who really can't do anything else but thumbs up. Make sure you hit the like button. It definitely helps me.
Yes or yes?
Feel a little bit popular, right? Have you hit the like button during this stream, dude?
God fucking no.
Well then, go. Be gone with you if you're not gonna participate. Jesus, that guy. Every stream this guy shows up. Okay, so we are going to do the photos, selfies on Sunday during our next episode. I do have something that I'd like to do today, though. And what that is award something that I used to do every photo submission day. And that is award something that I like to call photo of the week. So I am going to award photo of the week, and we are going back to photos of the week. You guys interested? You want to know who the photo of the week is? Do you want to know who the photo of the week is? Are you excited? Is that enough fanfare? No, I want more. I want you guys amped up. Let's see who wants to know what photo of the week is. Let's go. You guys ready? Should we get some fanfare? Should we get some fanfare? Photo of the week goes to the one they call Matthew Sargent. Gets photo of the week. Let's go, my guy. Matthew Sargent. Photo of the week. Congratulations, Matthew. This is an absolute showstopper. You get the smoke. You feel it. You feel the power. That is for me. Oh, look at you. You time worked me. That is for me my favorite photo. That was the one that, like, I think everybody who watched agrees. So, by the way, if you want to have your photo chosen as the photo of the week from these photo submissions, you got to submit. The whole idea become a member, join your YouTube to my Discord, because of course you have to join my Discord. And this is what all these people are doing. And this whole thing, I'm going to try to get this underneath the time warp because someone's time warping me again. I just want you guys to have a fun experience here during my lives and also learn something. You know, that's kind of the whole idea. If you haven't submitted photos for review, do you see how beneficial it is to have your pictures looked at by a professional? Don't be nervous. Don't be nervous about submitting your photos. Know that I'm giving you a friend review. If you're trying to be a pro, tell me you're trying to be a pro and I'll review you a little bit with a little bit more of a scrutinized eye. But if you're just trying to make better photos, you can't do that on your own without getting feedback from other people, and better get feedback from somebody who is actually a working pro who's been doing it for 3 decades. That's going to give you honest feedback that you can actually talk to, like Sebastian is, and Tony and Matthew and Robin and Kadima and Ram is. By the way, in chat, who wins the prize for the most photos of the week? The most wins of the photo of the week? Ramted. Ramted is a destroyer of worlds. Wait till this guy actually starts submitting his insect photos. You will lose your goddamn marbles. And in fact, because Ramted is back and has not been here for a minute, I am going to see if I have Ram's website saved in my bookmarks. Ram, how come I don't have... Why don't you just post your website so I can just show you off a little bit? Because I'm not getting any my portfolio business right now. Ramted, I just kind of want to show your website, you know, if you're here still. If not, that's cool. Guys, I hope you appreciated today's episode. Hope you appreciated it. These photographers that submit photos, the people who showcase, by the way, take in that smoke right there. Take in the smoke over my shoulder. How sick does that look right now over top of the Carty logo? Look at that. Are you seeing that? Are you seeing that vibe? Ram, make sure you post your link in the Discord so these fine people can see your website. Guys, if you like my smiling face, please consider subscribing. I do Ask a Photo Pro Tuesdays and Thursdays. These are open for everybody to watch, but they are members only chat. So if you want to talk to me, ask me questions, that kind of stuff, you got to be a member. Sunday's show is for everybody. Everybody's allowed to watch. Well, everyone's always allowed to watch, but you know, everyone can participate in chat. Sunday's chat is insane. If you've never watched a Behind the Picture episode, make sure you come out and hang out with us for Behind the Picture. They are always fun. Also, my chat controls my stream, meaning you watching at home can do all kinds of things. Watch, let me demonstrate. Hey, somebody who's watching right now, do something live to demonstrate that the people who watch me live actually control my stream. Watch, my hands are up here, and someone right now miraculously will do something to my face, take a screenshot, do something silly. These kinds of things make my live streams actually super, as you see, super engaging, fun to watch. And also, I'm always trying to teach you something about photography to help you get to the next level.
Yes, sir, yes.
As you see, although my chat, they are a little delayed because they're on a little bit of a like, let's go, Tony. Tony's a member. Tony gets the smoke. Let's go, Tony.
High quality content.
Just when I was trying to leave, Tony comes and becomes a member, so I have to drop the smoke one more time. Tony, welcome to the goddamn crew, you savage. Thank you for becoming a member. Make sure that you join the Discord. The link for the Discord's in the show notes. The Discord is like where all these people hang out when they're not watching me. They're in my Discord every day, every moment. It's like my Discord is like my own Twitter. So imagine that. It's like our little private Twitter for this community. So if you're not a part of it, jump on there. Discord's amazing. Guys, say goodbye to my dancers. Say goodbye to my dancers. Say goodbye to Granny, John Travolta. Say goodbye to Deadpool. I appreciate you for watching. I will be back on Sunday for some high quality content.
Yes.
Quality content.
I will be back on Sunday.
For some high quality content.
Know that you guys get better every single time that you show up to take photos. Having your work critiqued by a professional is the fastest way for you to get better at photos. Hands down. Put your shit on the table so I can look at it and help you get to the next level. You'll see the ones who do are, their trajectory is just moving faster than those who don't. So participate in this thing. We have this system going. We're trying to get to 25,000 photographers that are watching, that I'm helping through this free education program. I want you to be the next one. Hit the subscribe button. I will see you guys on the next one. Call your mom. I love you. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'm impressed by the submissions today. Julie, we love you. Everybody send Julie Lagovska love. She's in Ukraine. She's in war. She's stressed. We love you, Julie. The original mod, the moddiest of the mods. Julie's been with me since day one. She's seen absolutely everything on the growth of this channel. Thank you, Julie. And also, she actually created a job. Julie is my retoucher. So sometimes when people get super dedicated from watching this program, they end up becoming people who I hire, freelancers, assistants, makeup, hair, styling. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you've subscribed recently, you might see your name in this scroll. If you've become a member recently, you're definitely going to see your name on this scroll. These are called end credits. Thank you for getting this far. If you're still watching and you're addicted, please jump into my advice from a 30-year playlist. Watch another video. Jump into my Ask a Photo Pro playlist. I have 2 years of content there. Jump into my Behind the Picture playlist. Thank you guys so very much. Enjoy the rest of your day.